From one trader turning $80,000 into $1.12 million in just 7 days, to another losing $3.6 million in a single day. We are going to go over the most insane trades of this week. A trader who goes by the name of ISIS around 6994 turned just $80,000 to $1.12 million in just 7 days. How did he do it? With a ton of Tesla calls, making his chart go literally straight up and bring his account all the way up to $1,118,081.41. So he wanted to bet on Tesla mooning as a result of Trump winning due to their new close relationship and the deregulation that was coming for Tesla in the new administration. He's not a political person, just trading off an idea. So here is what he did. He bought $15,000 on 3-to-1 Kamala bets to win $30,000 to hedge his $50,000 in Tesla weekly calls. If she had won, he'd lose 10 to 15k maximum, and if Trump won, this happens. He rolled his weekly calls to November the 29th and December the 20th and held until today, as he closed about 95% of his trades. A trader who goes by the name of Little Long Bob made a huge loss, as he's probably a gambler. He has 1k left and is asking where should he burn it. He's down by 99% or $125,000 and is left with just $296.24. On his all-time chart, he did make a couple of small gains before his account started violently dropping. He's been gambling for years and it shows. So he proposed a challenge to try and recoup at least 25 to 50% within the next year with only 1k. He's lost this money in about 5 years and most of it was him trying to time the options. He's not a trader and will be done after this year. Now he'll start buying stocks to $200 to $300 a month. Then once he settles some financial debts, he'll slowly start on buying more ETFs. He will learn to be profitable, but right now his head is not in the right place. A trader who goes by the name of Monster Goat 77 took 6 years to make just $115.19. On October the 9th, 2023, he was even down by $24,215, but then he somehow made an incredible comeback, bringing his account all the way back to $19,724.10. He bought a couple of stocks in college for a few weeks until he discovered options. He got multiple times instead of just buying VOO or SPY or anything else. Today is the day he sees green on his account since 2018. Those first few weeks he was talking about when he just bought a couple of stocks, those stocks were King Tesla at about $200 pre-splits, and he had like 15 of them. He saw a stupid Facebook post of some dude making 700% in a day on a stupid GE call, so he sold the shares to just lose 2k instantly on some calls he doesn't even remember what he bet on. But at least since that post he already got his account to $21,316.55, so it seems like he's doing great. A trader who goes by the name of Kill4209 made 100k thanks to karma. Well, thanks to buying Reddit, to be more precise. Whoever thought internet credits would yield any actual value. He's never had the opportunity to participate in an IPO in the pre-market, so he jumped on this despite the majority was his bets flushing the idea and the future of the platform down the toilet. He was allotted 1000 shares in March at $34 and bought all of them. Now the stock has reached $134. What does karma have to do with this gain? Well, Reddit offered members to buy stock before the IPO. If you were given the opportunity at all, and how many shares you could buy was dependent on a few factors, one of them being how much karma you had. The maximum they offered was 1000 shares, and when the markets opened, the price was at about $49. A trader who goes by the name of SD Puntapa made a 70k gain thanks to the Trump trade no one talked about. Everyone was piling into Tesla, Bitcoin and DJT, and no one ever mentioned Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. These two companies have been orphaned ever since their conservatorship 15 plus years ago. During Trump's first presidency, he implemented steps to reprivatize the entities, and with him back in office, the market reacted accordingly. A trader who goes by the name of Theosoph Oracle is up by 250k in one day. Yes, in a single day, he's up by 41% or $253,000, bringing his account all the way up to $160,000, and he made such a huge gain because of MicroStrategy calls on which he's actually up by more than 400% or almost $500,000. Needless to say, he went all in on MicroStrategy, blend of equity and leaps. He does love options as he thinks he made the trade of the century. He's never letting go but will execute the calls eventually. Just a couple of days later he got his account all the way up to $1,011,176 as he turned about $176,000 into more than $1 million in just 2 months. But before he was consistently growing his account, he was down by a bit more than $100,000 in a single week as he was still buying the dip. Here is his advice for anyone trying to outperform the market. It's okay to do the normal thing, that's okay. But if it's what everyone else is doing, then you don't really grow. You can just keep up. Everyone is also afraid of volatility. He was and remains attracted to MicroStrategy precisely because it's volatile. The volatility is vitality. He likes the stock for the long haul because he thinks what it is doing is a great idea. You can do the average thing and you'll keep up. Or you can aim to grow by concentrating into positions that you believe in and that you think should be valued more highly or will do well in the long term. But you have to figure out what it is on your own and do the work. Buying stocks off random advice on the internet is a good way to get wrecked. Plus, you won't know what to do when it goes up a lot and probably sell way too early. Whatever you invest in, you should spend a lot of time researching and studying everything you can and reading the public filings and be aware of what you're investing in. A trader who goes beneath buy them dips is thanking Elon as he turned just 10k into 149k in under a week. Yeah, in the past week he's up by 1249% or $137,962, bringing his account all the way up to $149,004.96. He opened a Lotto account last week after the elections and full sent Tesla calls. He's currently holding 49 calls with a strike price at $450 and an expiration date on March 22nd, 2025. A trader who goes by name of Pip Joe traded for 6 years just to break even, and now he's up by 0.22% or $450.96. He literally lost money for 5 years and decided to basically always be long at the start of this year. He broke even with a big MicroStrategy long dated options position the last couple of weeks. He's planning to continue to hold. Most people would say if it's good enough to screenshot, it's good enough to sell, but in his case holding paid off massively. Now he's up by 16% or $33,256.29. A trader who goes by the name of Camaros and Cannabis used 0-day still expiring Tesla calls to turn just $2,150 into $40,300. He bought these calls on November the 7th right before the close. He expected a $300 breach the next day and knew all of those hedges that were short would get their assholes blown apart. The instant gap from $299 to $301 when it happened, he knew it was gonna run hard, so he logged these in before they went to zero. The key to finding these trades is to be patient and stay liquid for the absolute best setups. This is really hard as most people try to force their positions into working. A trader who goes by the name of Elon I love you swung 30k YOLO on Coinbase from Friday into Monday and decided to swing it into Tuesday for the $1 million dream. On these Coinbase calls, which he bought just a week till expiry, he's up by 1,179% or $356,105. Despite many of you fellow regards telling him it was a bad idea on Friday to YOLO 30k into Coinbase calls after it ran by 50% last week, he still did it. Now he finds himself in a position where he can finally move out of the Wendy's dumpsters, but he's going to hold for another day. Pray for him, fellow regards. Valhalla or back to Wendy's? Well, sadly the stock dropped on Tuesday, so his position also took a hit. In the end, he sold for a 265k gain. A trader who goes by one assignment 5126 posted his lab gains. He's up by 171% or $604,000 because he bought a lot of Rocket Lab call options. He posted here 3 months ago with his Rocket Lab gains, and with the stock rising by more than 300% since then, it's safe to say that his position has gone up a bit more. What was 108k of Rocket Lab position positions in June is now worth $1.2 million. Aside from the cars, he also owns 22,000 shares, which he's been accumulating since 2022 with the average buying price at $6. Now, a bit of history. Thanks to WallStreetBets, he got into options during COVID like a lot of people. He lost a bunch of money buying weekly SPY puts with that one super degen guy. Anyway, through losing a lot of money and to occasionally making money, he got a good idea of how it works, and in 2022 he got a brilliant idea to use the same YOLO tactics but on a company he actually understands in a segment he understands. It's not brilliant, it's just common sense. As a space nerd, he thought all of the options were complete trash until Rocket Lab started acquiring satellite component companies and saw what they were going for. A space company that will make money through vertical integration with big DoD options opening in the near future. He started buying shares then and then buying leaps when they were down into force, knowing a lot of potential catalysts were on the horizon in 2023 and 2024. It's worked. A trader who goes by the name of Miss My Pinto is declaring bankruptcy. Due to a lot of options, he was down by 94% or $20,125 and was left with $2,436. This was from August the 4th when he went full on puts and many of the brokerages weren't allowed to trade for the first few hours. Utter BS in his opinion. He's working on making it back and then the rest of his losses. On top of that, he owes Robinhood $33,000 and worst of all, he didn't even plan to trade that day as it was the first day of his vacation. A trader who goes by the name of Random Cheeky Bomb lost $125k in a day shorting Bitcoin, but his journey is much more interesting than just this insane loss. You see, he started this account with just $100 on elections results day and degened it all the way to $125k before losing it all trying to short 5 million bitcoins. And he's been doing this for a long time. Initially he started with 1k and at peak in 2022 he had $3.6 million and then he decided to short 20 million of Ethereum at $1,400 in mid-July 2022 on FTX and lost it all in a single day. He thinks the biggest hourly candle on ETH in 2022 was his liquidation. So he's always been a degenerate, but for people asking how he did it, he basically scalped 4 to 5% moves on high leverage on Dogecoin. He lost it all because for the last few months it's been more often than not that a weekend pump would retrace on Bitcoin compounded with a big CME gap he was betting on it getting filled. He went short around 81k and fell asleep somehow with no stop loss. He woke up to Bitcoin at 85k and Bitcoin just 1.5% below his margin call and decided to risk it and got liquidated. And if you want to see what happens when you've mastered trading, click on the video just popped up. If you like my content, make sure to subscribe and thanks for watching.